Did you know that the pastry you have for breakfast every morning could be the reason why your abdomen looks bloated and you feel uncomfortable all day? Hello, I'm Dr. Emma, a wellness and health specialist with over 20 years of experience helping older adults regain their vitality. Today, I want to share something I've seen happen over and over again in my practice. Women coming in desperate because they don't understand why their abdomen is constantly inflamed, why they feel that heaviness that doesn't let them live peacefully. And when we start reviewing their eating habits, the same culprit always appears: refined pastries. Before we begin, let me know in the comments where you are watching this video from, so I can see how far it has reached. A few months ago, Maria came to my office. She is a 62-year-old woman with a complaint I hear almost daily. She told me, "Doctor, I don't know what's wrong with me. Every morning I wake up feeling fine, but as soon as I have breakfast, my abdomen bloats like a balloon. I feel uncomfortable, my clothes feel tight, and I spend the rest of the day feeling heavy and gassy." I asked what she usually has for breakfast, and her answer was exactly what I expected. "A pastry with my coffee, doctor. It's the most practical and quick thing. And here's the problem I want you to understand today. These pastries that seem so harmless, so delicious, so convenient, are loaded with refined sugars and processed flours that your body simply can't handle well, especially as you age. Your digestive system becomes more sensitive over the years, and these ultra-processed products are like a bomb of inflammation for your abdomen. Let me explain exactly what happens inside your body when you frequently eat these pastries. First, refined flours quickly turn into sugar in your bloodstream. This causes a glucose spike that your pancreas tries to control by producing large amounts of insulin. That constant sugar rise and fall not only makes you feel tired and hungry soon after, but also generates inflammation throughout your body, especially in your digestive system. Second, these pastries lack fiber. Fiber is essential for keeping your digestive system running properly, feeding the good bacteria in your gut, and preventing constipation. Without fiber, your digestion slows down. Food stays longer than necessary in your intestines, ferments, produces gas, and there you have that horrible bloating that makes you uncomfortable all day. Third, many of these pastries contain trans fats and additives that your body recognizes as foreign substances. Your immune system responds with inflammation, trying to protect you, but the result is that you feel bloated, heavy, and uncomfortable. Going back to Maria, when I explained all this, she looked at me with those surprised eyes I've seen so many times. "But doctor, I've been eating like this for years. Are you telling me I have to stop eating pastries completely?" And here comes the good news I want to share with you as well. It's not about eliminating everything you enjoy. It's about making smart changes that your body will thank you for. I proposed to Maria a simple plan that has worked for hundreds of my patients, and I'm going to share it with you now so you can also start feeling better. First, replace those refined pastries with whole grain versions. Look for breads and pastries made with real whole grain flour, where you can see the whole grains. These have fiber, digest more slowly, don't cause those sugar spikes, and feed the good bacteria in your gut you need for healthy digestion. Second, never eat a pastry alone. Combine it with foods rich in fiber and protein. A handful of nuts, some avocado, some chia seeds. This slows down sugar digestion, keeps you satisfied longer, and significantly reduces inflammation. Third, accompany your breakfast with gentle liquids. A ginger infusion, chamomile tea, or simply warm water with lemon. These liquids help your digestion, reduce bloating, and prepare your digestive system to process food more efficiently. Maria started applying these changes, and when she returned to my office 3 weeks later, the difference was remarkable. "Doctor, I can't believe how good I feel. My abdomen doesn't bloat like before. I have more energy, and I've even lost a little weight without trying." This is exactly what happens when you stop overloading your body with foods that cause inflammation and start nourishing it with what it really needs. Now, I want you to understand something important. As we age, our digestive system produces fewer enzymes, our metabolism slows down, and our ability to process sugars and refined flours decreases. This is not a flaw, it's simply part of the natural aging process. But it means we have to be more careful about what we choose to eat. The refined pastries you may have tolerated well in your 30s or 40s Now, in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, your body simply cannot handle them the same way. And continuing to consume them frequently keeps your body in a constant state of inflammation that affects not only your abdomen, but your overall well-being. So, what can you do today to start feeling better? It's very simple. Tomorrow, when you go to breakfast, choose a whole grain bread instead of that refined pastry. Spread some olive oil on it, add half an avocado, or simply have it with a handful of almonds. Prepare a hot infusion, sit down calmly to eat, and pay attention to how your body feels in the hours that follow. I guarantee you will notice the difference. You will feel less bloated, less heavy, more energetic. And when you experience that feeling of lightness and well-being, you will understand why this small change can completely transform how you feel every day. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Start with a small change, feel it, celebrate it, and then add another. Your body has an incredible capacity to heal and feel good when you give it what it needs. Give it that chance. Start today and discover how to feel lighter and more vital at any age. Look, let me tell you something I see every day in my practice. Older people come in with that uncomfortable feeling of having a bloated abdomen, as if they're about to burst, unable to button their pants properly, feeling heavy and with discomfort that keeps them from enjoying their day. And when we start to review what they are eating, there they are, almost always, those refined pastries from breakfast or snack time. That pastry that seems so innocent, so tempting with its sweet aroma and fluffy texture, hides something that your abdomen does not forgive when you consume it frequently. The thing is, these pastries are mainly made with refined flours, the kind that have lost all their fiber and nutrients during the manufacturing process. When you eat them, your body absorbs them quickly, causing blood sugar spikes that trigger insulin production. This metabolic roller coaster not only makes you feel tired shortly after, but also promotes gas accumulation and slows down your digestion. In addition, most of these pastries are loaded with added sugars, trans fats, and preservatives that your digestive system simply cannot process efficiently, especially once you're over 60 and your metabolism works differently. I've seen people who had been dealing with that constant bloating for years, with that discomfort that robbed them of energy and made them feel heavy, completely change their situation simply by modifying this habit. It's not about never eating sweets again, of course not. It's about doing it intelligently. When you replace that refined pastry with a whole grain option that retains its natural fiber, everything starts to work differently in your body. Fiber acts like a gentle broom that helps your intestines move, regularly absorbs excess fluids, and feeds the good bacteria of your gut flora, the ones that are your allies against inflammation. And here's the important part. When you combine this change with fiber-rich foods like fresh fruits, vegetables, or a handful of nuts, and accompany it with gentle liquids like digestive herbal teas or simply room-temperature water, you're creating the perfect conditions for your abdomen to deflate. You'll see how within a few days you start to feel lighter, more energetic, without that constant pressure in your stomach that has been bothering you for so long. Don't wait for discomfort to become part of your daily routine. This simple change has the power to transform how you feel every morning, how you enjoy your meals, and how you move through your day. Start tomorrow by choosing better, because your well-being can't wait any longer, and because you deserve to feel vital and comfortable in your own body every day of your life. Now then, I know that when you have been having the same breakfast for years, when that pastry with your coffee has become your daily morning ritual, it may seem impossible to change it. I completely understand that resistance, that inner voice that tells you that at your age there is no point in changing anything, that you have lived your whole life like this, and why complicate things now? But let me tell you something from my experience of more than 20 years accompanying older people on their path to well-being. It is never too late to feel better, and the smallest changes are the ones that generate the deepest transformations. You see, your intestine functions at a different pace after 60. The production of digestive enzymes decreases, intestinal movements become slower, and your microbiota, that universe of bacteria that lives in your digestive system, becomes more sensitive to what you eat. When you introduce those refined pastries full of simple sugars and nutrient-stripped flours, you berries are feeding precisely the wrong bacteria, the ones that produce gas, inflammation, and excessive fermentation. It's as if you were pouring gasoline on a fire that is already burning. I have had patients who told me they couldn't have regular bowel movements, that they felt their abdomen hard as a rock every afternoon, that they had to loosen their clothes after eating because the pressure was unbearable. And when we reviewed their diet together, we discovered that those 2 or 3 pastries a week had unknowingly become one every day, sometimes even 2. Small bites that seemed harmless but accumulated in their system like a heavy burden their body could no longer process efficiently. When we started replacing those pastries with real whole grain bread, the kind that has visible grains, seeds, that feels heavy in your hand and has texture, everything changed. I asked them to accompany it with a little olive oil, some slices of fresh tomato, or a handful of walnuts, and at the same time to drink warm water with lemon on an empty stomach or a chamomile infusion after meals. These simple adjustments began to work wonders. The fiber in whole grain bread regulates transit. The healthy fats in the oil and walnuts protect the intestinal mucosa, and the gentle liquids facilitate digestion without irritation. The results didn't take long to appear. Within a week, the bloating started to subside. In 2 weeks, energy returned. And by the month, they told me with a smile they couldn't remember the last time they felt so light, so comfortable in their own body. Because in the end, your abdomen is speaking to you every time it bloats. Every time you feel that pressure, it's telling you that something is not working well, that it needs your attention, your care. And the good news is that listening and responding is much easier than you imagine. You don't need complicated diets or expensive products. You only need to choose better, with awareness, with self-love. Knowing that every decision you make on your plate is a direct investment in how you will feel in the next hours, the next days, the rest of your life. And believe me when I say, you deserve to feel good, right now, without waiting any longer. Now, I want you to think about something important. How many times have you blamed your age for how you feel? How many times have you thought that the bloating, the heaviness, those constant gases are simply part of aging, something inevitable that you have to accept? Let me be very clear with you. They are not. Your body is not designed to live with constant discomfort, not at 60, not at 70, nor at 80. What happens is that, over the years, your body needs more specific attention, more conscious decisions, and when you don't make them, it finds ways to make itself heard, and abdominal inflammation is one of the most common. You see, every time you choose that refined pastry, you are making a decision that goes far beyond the momentary pleasure on your palate. You are telling your digestive system to work twice as hard to process something that offers it no real value. Those fast sugars spike your blood glucose levels, cause internal inflammation, and that white flour turns into a sticky, hard-to-move mass in your intestines. Imagine it like trying to run an old, delicate but valuable engine on poor-quality fuel. Eventually, that engine starts to fail, makes strange noises, loses power. That's exactly what happens to your body. But look, it's not about forbidding yourself everything either. I'm not here to tell you that you can never enjoy a sweet or something you like again. Life without pleasure isn't life. What I do ask is that you be strategic, that you understand the game happening inside you and make informed choices. If on a Sunday you want to eat a pastry because you're with your family and you really feel like it, go ahead. But let that be what it is, a special moment, not your daily fuel. And on the other days, choose foods that truly nourish you, that soothe your system, that bring back that feeling of lightness you thought was lost forever. I have seen women 75 years old regain vitality they hadn't felt in decades simply by adjusting these small things. I have seen their faces change when they told me they no longer needed to take pills for gas, that they could go for a walk without fear of feeling bloated halfway through, that they started sleeping well again because the constant abdominal discomfort was gone. And it all started with a choice as simple as swapping a white pastry for a quality whole grain bread. So simple, yet so powerful. Because when you take care of your gut, when you nourish it with what it truly needs, your whole body responds. Your energy improves, your mood stabilizes, your skin looks better, even your sleep becomes more restful. Everything is connected, and your abdomen is the center of that balance. Listen to it. Respect. Give it what it's asking for. Not tomorrow, not next Monday, today. Because every hour that passes feeling discomfort is an hour you will never get back, and you deserve to live every day with fullness, comfort, and joy. Start today. Replace that pastry with something that honors you. And watch how your body thanks you in ways you never imagined possible. And you know, what is the most beautiful thing about all this? What truly moves me after so many years accompanying people like you on this journey? You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to become a nutrition expert overnight, nor memorize endless lists of allowed and forbidden foods. The only thing you need is honesty with yourself and the willingness to make small adjustments that make a real difference. Because every time you choose whole grain bread over white bread, every time you accompany your meal with a glass of water instead of a sugary drink, every time you add a handful of vegetables to your plate, you are taking control of your well-being. You are telling your body, I listen to you, I respect you, I take care of you. Think about this for a moment. All those discomforts you have normalized, that feeling of bloating after eating, that fatigue dragging you through the afternoon, those pants that feel tighter around the waist even though you haven't gained much weight, all of that has a cause, and often it is directly related to what you repeatedly eat without realizing it. Refined pastries are just one example, but they represent something bigger, the habit of choosing the easy, the fast, what you've always done, without asking yourself if it still serves you. And I want you to understand something fundamental. What worked for your body at 40 no longer works the same at 60 or 70. Your metabolism changed, your gut flora is different, your ability to process certain foods has modified. It's not a punishment, it's a natural evolution, and adapting to it is not giving up, it's being smart. I have met so many women who spent years fighting against their own bodies, feeling betrayed by it, frustrated because nothing seemed to work. And when they finally started truly listening to it, observing what made them feel good and what caused them discomfort, everything changed. One of my patients, Rosa, told me something I will never forget. Doctor, I spent 50 years eating without thinking, and now that I think a little before eating, I have regained a quality of life I thought was lost forever. And that is exactly the transformation I want for you. That you stop feeling your body is your enemy and start seeing it as your most loyal ally, the one that only needs you to treat it with the care it deserves. So I ask you, with all the affection and experience I have, will you keep allowing a simple, refined pastry to steal your comfort, your energy, your well-being? Or will you make today that small but revolutionary decision to choose something better for yourself? Because it's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's not about never enjoying again, it's about doing it consciously. And I assure you, with all I have seen in these 2 decades, that your body has an incredible capacity to heal, to rebalance, to feel good again. It is only waiting for you to give it that chance. The question is, are you ready to give it to yourself?